yesterday's news.
Hello and welcome to Old News, the programme that looks at news of today in the papers of yesterday. Reservoirs and water. It's been warm and dry on the Isle of Man, unusually, for quite a few weeks of late. We've had stories on Manx Radio saying, actually, we are okay. Reservoirs in good order, around 90%. People should be sensible with water usage and we should be fine. It's been an issue for a long time over the years as we've built various reservoirs. The Sulby the last, I think. 1955, October the 14th in the Isle of Man Times. Lowest ever at Baldwin Reservoir, the levels we are told. No cause for alarm though. Although the almost rainless summer is meant to drop in reservoir supplies, it was stated officially there is no cause for alarm. At West Baldwin, from where Douglas receives its main supply of water, there are now 144 million gallons. At full storage, the reservoir holds 300 million gallons. This is the lowest ever figure recorded. In 1933, at the beginning of October, 158 million gallons of water were in the reservoir, but it soon rose after a particularly wet October. At the Clips and Carradoo, the present capacity, 35 million gallons, and those two reservoirs had a full capacity of 70 million. The mid-50s, a dry period it seems. Inverbrec ran dry as well. The Isle of Man Examiner, Friday the 14th of October 1955. Inverbrec Reservoir level lowest for 50 years. And a black and white picture to prove the point. The water level in Inverbrec Reservoir, West Baldwin, is today lower than it's ever been since the reservoir was opened 50 years ago, which makes it 1905 that Inverbrec opened. When the reservoir is full, as it was this time last year, the level at the overflow is up to 71 feet. Now it is down to 55 feet. However, we were told there is no fear of a water shortage in Douglas. The supply position is quite satisfactory at present and the winter is coming on, said Mr. H. Cannell, the water engineer. Previous lowest levels was 56 feet 9 inches in 1933. And we were told the record low level resulting from the dry summer has laid bare a large brown patch with small channels cut by trickles of water from the stream feeding the reservoir at the north end. In 1953, the Isle of Man Times, Saturday the 18th of July. This is the first July for many years that there is no threat of a water shortage in the outtowns. This time last year, the Ballure Reservoir at Ramsey was getting low and even the Baldwin Reservoir was showing signs of the drought, although it contained more than enough water to meet the demands of the season. It has not been a wet summer. When it has rained heavily, and the recent heavy storm raised the level of reservoirs throughout the island. We do not want to give the idea that there is water to waste, said Mr. W.R. Prescott, Secretary of the Isle of Man Water Board, but unless there is a prolonged drought, we should get through the season comfortably. In the Mona's Herald of the 5th of June 1956, we were told much more rain is still needed. Serious threat to Manx farm produce, and householders were urged to be economical as all reservoirs are unusually low for the time of year. The island's hay crop had already been ruined, we were told, and other threats to food crops were in the offing. The Isle of Man Times of 1957, the 22nd of March, the £879,375 reservoir. Tynwald says no without further consideration. Mr. Simcock's able case for Little London site. Yes, a reservoir to be built at Little London was considered. If we go back quite a bit further, there's talk of the new reservoir in the Peel City Guardian of Saturday the 22nd of September 1900. Only one tender for the construction of the new reservoir at West Baldwin having been received by Douglas Town Council, and the tender being in amount considerably above the engineer's estimate of the cost of the work. No change there then. The council, at a private meeting held on Wednesday afternoon, decided to themselves undertake the construction of the reservoir. I think there might be a change there, though. It is to be hoped that an early start with the work will be made, as within a week or two there will be hundreds of Douglas men out of employment, reported The Guardian. And then a couple of quirky little ones to finish. The Isle of Man Examiner, Friday the 16th of February 1934. To have tea served at the bottom of a reservoir with a capacity of 2 million gallons was the unique experience of several members of Tynwald Court and the Douglas Town Council on Tuesday. Hard-hearted critics of the legislature and the civic authority may regret that the reservoir was not full at the time. But as a matter of fact, the floor of the reservoir was as dry as a bone and as clean as a new pin. The experience of eating and drinking in a place which at an early date will be unavailable to sight came to our legislators through the invitation extended to them by the Corporation's Water Committee to inspect the new filtration plant which is in course of erection at the Glen Crutchery estate. And finally, from the Examiner of the 22nd of September 1960. It reads, 25 years ago this week, the Examiner's headline news was about the miracle man from Castletown, Norman Farragut, or Farger, who possessed uncanny powers of water divining. Major E.H. Goldie Taubman was anxious to supplement his almost exhausted water supply on the nunnery estate, and Mr. Farger was called to see if his strange powers could help locate a fresh supply for the Major. Using the traditional forked twig of hazel cut from a tree in Santon, Mr. Farragut, or Mr. Farger, who knows, discovered several springs 15 to 20 feet deep. The Russian water authorities also called upon the services of Mr. Farger because of the very low state of their reservoir. He located an abundant supply of water in a spring half a mile away. The age of miracles has not yet passed, said the report, which would have been, by my maths, in the Examiner of 1935. Whichever way we look at it, it's all old news. Cheerio.
It's gonna be yesterday's news.